Greetings and welcome to Star Trek Discovery Pod, a sometimes funny, trying to be smart podcast covering all things new and classic Trek. I can't command a ship from inside an aquarium. I am your Captain Mariah Gossett. With me on the view screen, we have
Clyde Haynes. If I looked up and my hands were webbed, I'd have a lot of questions.
And your friendly neighborhood Sir Snake, Paul Sitachet.
Ooh, Sir Snake. Yes, tonight we are talking about the Ambergris Element and the Slaver weapon from the animated series. But before we dive in, I thought we would actually catch up. Clyde, you haven't been here for 2 weeks and we missed you. It's nice to have you back.
It's been a minute. Yeah, I was, for a while there, I was in the future.
Mhm.
And then fortunately I was able to do some
back-
timey-wimey stuff and come
Did you
back.
bring back a book with all the sports
An
Sports
almanac?
bets?
sports almanac? Yeah, exactly.
No. Though the more I watch sci-fi, the more I am trying to figure out, how did we let Back to the Future really be the cornerstone of all time travel knowledge in the universe?
Because it's a good movie.
It's a great movie, but
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Because you don't need money and you don't need you don't need no credit card to ride this train.
I just look up and realize that no matter how long it's been, when it comes to time travel,
Everything's a
sci-fi,
DeLorean, 88
everything's-
miles per hour.
everything comes back to the Future. I'm like, Zemeckis, did you have any idea what you were doing when you did it? Like,
Yeah, he got rid of Eric Stoltz and put Michael J. Fox.
that was seriously like, that was gonna mess up that movie. And I think I like Eric Stoltz.
Yeah, no.
I don't know that I like his movies, but I like him.
Okay, well, he's in Pulp Fiction. He's very good in Pulp Fiction.
He's in a lot of things. He may have traumatized me a little bit in Mask as a child, but
You get it. But yes, how were your travels? You were abroad.
it was fantastic. It was wonderful. I found a toy store on the other side.
Where'd
of
you
the
go?
planet.
Yeah, Clyde, where'd you go? We didn't spoil anything. Yeah,
I went to Japan. I was in Japan
Cool.
for a little over a week.
Is that in
about 9
Asia?
days. It is. And I'm wandering the streets of Tokyo and I see a toy store named Kobayashi. And I'm like, not only do I take a picture, I have to go in and look for Star Trek toys. And very disappointingly, there were none. I'm like, how do you have a toy store named Kobayashi and there are no Star Trek toys inside?
Because like it'd be equivalent to going to like a place called Clark's.
Quite possibly. It would be like going to a toy store named Joe's and not finding any G.I. Joes inside. Yes.
Like you say Kobayashi, and my first thought was not to Maru, which it should have because we were on the Star Trek podcast, but it was like, Kobayashi is in Usual Suspects. Which is I was like, oh, that's not thematic, Paul. Like we're either a Star Trek pod or we're a food pod or a time travel pod.
But these are the options made available to you.
We are not a Usual Suspects pod.
No.
So it was yes. No, I had a great time in Japan. The people were amazing, amazingly friendly, incredibly polite. I got to use the very little Japanese that I knew. It was all in all, it was a good time. But I missed you guys.
That's a lie.
No, I did.
It would have been wild to try to figure out the time difference for you to do the show.
It was 16 hours.
Oh, that's perfect then. You wake up, talk about the pod.
It would be like in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Go to the train station, get your little matcha and like egg and rice.
Okay, so for the record, I am not a fan of matcha. I tried it many, many times in Japan in many different things, and where I landed is, while I like green tea more than I did before I left, matcha, you can keep the matcha.
Not so much. Did you go to a 7-Eleven?
I went to many 7-Elevens, and I even brought back a miniature like toy 7-Eleven. Because 7-Eleven is everything in Japan. Yeah. It's everything. So
I need an egg salad sandwich.
I didn't quite get an egg salad sandwich, but I did eat a little bit from the 7-Eleven. It wasn't bad. Yeah. It's noon tomorrow in Tokyo right now.
That wouldn't have been that bad.
On a
Going
bus
back to
at noon most days, so I would have been.
oh wait, so you're wanting to go back to the future?
Part 2.
Part 2, that's right.
Is part 3 the
Yes.
one with the Western?
It
they,
is.
like,
Yes,
It
it
is.
is.
Yeah. I was like, I had all of them on VHS at one point. But
Oh yeah.
all right, y'all. I guess we will dive into things. You can subscribe and rate and review the podcast on Apple. You can subscribe and review on Spotify. You can also hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you know when we're going live. If you want to come hang out with us during the live stream, all the links and everything are at StarTrekPod.co. And you can hang out with us over on the Patreon to get access to the community Slack and get access to episodes early, because I'm often fairly forgetful and publish last week's show today. So if you want them early, you can get them on the Patreon because my mind wanders. Yeah, Clyde, since you haven't been here for a while, can you remind listeners how they can interact with us today?
You can, let's see, what are the interesting ways that you can, you know what you can do? You can write a note, put it in an envelope, and put it in a
DeLorean to go 88
a DeLorean with a dog, must be with Einie, and then you set it off in the middle of the pine trees.
And then
park,
Doc
the Twin
Brown
Pines.
will collect it.
Yes, and then not tell us what's in it, right? Lest it messes up the space-time continuum. But he'll know.
Get to us. Yeah.
We'll essentially know, and then we'll know. No, seriously, type capital P, capital O, capital D, capital pod in the chat, and we'll take a look. As Mariah said last week, we'll look at other chats, but pod gets our attention right away.
Indeed. Okay, I think it is time for some. Let's see what we're doing.
Okay, speaking of that intro, I had to
Yeah.
try to explain to my son yesterday who Reed Richards was, because I have this Marvel shirt, and he kept looking at Mr. Fantastic and going, "Are you sure that's not a bad guy?" And I'm like, "No, he's." So when you saw the flame one,
And for the audio listeners, we have a Fantastic Four themed Hot Frakes video that has Jonathan Frakes' face superimposed on a body catching on fire.
Yeah, I realized
AKA
the Fantastic Four is not really popping in culture today. It's not.
Well, there's a new one coming out.
I know. Maybe that will change it. And
Pedro Pascal's in it. Of course, it's going to change it.
I mean, I hope so. I like him quite a bit. So
yeah,
we'll see.
We actually get to see his face. You know, he loves movies where you don't see that face, or TV shows, I guess, rather. Okay, what did y'all think of? And I've been corrected on the pronunciation. Thank you, Ambergris Element, and the Slaver Weapon episodes that we watched for this evening.
It's hard for me to say this, but I'm gonna say it. I actually enjoyed Ambergris.
I thought that was a really fun one. Yeah,
I thought it was fun one. I mean, there were some questions that sometimes in there I was like, "Hey, look, if a big sea monster is chasing you, I don't know, fly out of the water would just be something you might want to consider." I don't know. It's just me.
Surf snake, baby.
Yes, but outside of that, I actually enjoyed it. It was probably, of all the episodes I've seen so far, this might be my favorite.
Interesting.
As far as slavers, I was kind of like, felt like traditional Trek with kind of a bit of a moral when the bad guys don't get the weapon, but you don't get it either. And, yeah, it was not bad. Not a bad episode at all.
Paul?
I don't know. I probably had a different experience because I was watching it and I was like, "Oh, this is what Mariah and Clyde are talking about when they have to reach for their phones." Because I'm going, "Oh man, I cannot get through this." And I think what I've come to realize is like Star Trek, the anime series, is actually like from the future, because I think maybe all the voices are AI. Because they all are read at the same, like in cadence and stuff like that. I'm going like,
"Fuck, we have webs on our hands."
And I'm like going like, I don't think a human can do this. Like imagine recording this. Like, I don't know if I don't know if Shatner is talented enough to do like 22 episodes at the same tone.
Especially because they're recorded separately. And I feel like these performers need other humans to witness and feed off of.
Maybe because it was really, I was like, oh my God, this is like Flatline. Like, and I'm going like, I can't, am I enjoying the surf snake? No, because I'm losing it.
I
So
think it,
go ahead, Mariah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I think I enjoyed the Ambergris episode. I think just because like I like underwater things.
Mhm.
The Slaver Weapon is based on a short story. I know, The Soft Weapon, which is like it's pretty true to the short story. So if you kind of know the beats, it's like a little bit less exciting, I think, because I'm like, oh, I know what happens. But I get what you're saying, Paul, in that there's not a lot of vocal differentiate, like there's no vocal variety to the performances. And I think the other thing that's hard is that they use the same music cues over and over again. So it's just like, when it is the big face off or the chase scene, because it's just da 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 pow, da 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 pow. Like
which is all fine. Like, like it's one of those things where I go like, oh, like, when like a kid tells you a story and it has like no subtext, and it's just like there's this like rabbit and it like it walks across the desert and then it eats a carrot.
Yes.
And now imagine that without that intonation. It's like all the plot is so just straight in a way where I go like, oh, it makes me nostalgic actually, because to be like, because I imagine if I was a kid, I was 7, I was 8 or 27, I'd be watching this. Oh my God, they're underwater now. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? They have no lungs.
Yeah.
I also play a game when I watch these. It's called Can You Spot Michelle Barrett? And so it's just, I'm like, oh, there she is. That's the voice, because she does like 16 voices in every episode. Yeah. So that's a game I play. And then another thing was in Slavers, Uhura runs for it and she's like, oh, I'm slowing down. And I'm like, well, when you ran track, you probably weren't running in heels. So that might be why you're faster.
That was something I found.
I don't know why you just didn't take those off.
The thing I found so funny about them like jumping over to the Argo water planet, like having Spock and Kirk swimming in their uniforms, like I love it. They never changed outfits, and I was like, you're trying to get away from this surf snake, and you're literally swimming in boots, like.
But they all have like Aquaman powers now, because now they swim really fast.
I guess. I mean, they do have webbed hands, so that's gonna add,
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I think this to your like point earlier, Clyde, like the Slaver Weapon episode, I think has that like moral storytelling to it. I also had to look up because I was like, oh, are the Kitsin, I can't say it, Kitsinti, the cat people, they're not the same as Tahana, by the way. I double checked. No. But I was like, wow, it's interesting that we have so many cat-like humanoid species in Star Trek. But I guess we have a lot of humanoid species as well. So why not have multiple cat species?
I think sometimes, because writers are people, I think writers are sitting around their apartment smoking a joint and they look around and they see something and go, I got an idea for an alien.
No, I think you're mistaken, Clyde, because I truly believe that like this is like 72, so they're smoking a joint in the writer's room.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
There's no work from home hybrid bullshit. No. This is just
yeah. No, this is like the era that Past That Dutch is based off of.
Like somebody brings their cat in and the cat's running around like, I got a really great idea for an alien for this next episode. Just bear with me.
Well, I'm just like,
It's
because
an
Larry,
cat.
for the slaver's weapon, Larry Niven wrote the soft, so it's called the soft weapon in the short story. And like he wrote the short story and the script. So I bet he was just like, guys, I have the easiest day for us. We're gonna take
Yeah.
this story. I already wrote
Look,
what we're gonna take. What do we want to make these aliens? And someone's just like, let's make them a cat.
wait,
Let's make him a cat.
But even more like you're like, okay, you ever have a cat? Yeah. You ever think the cat can read your mind?
Yes.
And go like,
And
oh my god.
about
And they go, oh my god, that cat would be so depressed. That's it.
that's it.
That's
Cat
it. We
and
got-
cats eat meat. Cats only eat meat. And you know what
That's-
they don't like? Vegetables. Have you ever seen them react to a cucumber?
Oh my god, that's right. It goes, oh my god.
This is absolutely conversation that happened. Like
It's
that's
like
exactly it.
so high. They must have been so high and so drunk. You know, like going, oh, like getting out at 1 o'clock. You know, oh, that's a day. Time to go get a steak.
Yep.
It's time to go get a steak. I did look up. So the original, the Starbase they were taking the box to in the beginning is Starbase 25, which is where in Lower Decks they had the big gala they couldn't get into, and they end up at the bar that has the Kirk and Spock carved into it. So I thought that was a fun deep reference. Yeah.
Sure.
So
it,
good job.
Yeah.
Lower Decks constantly finding the most obscure references.
No, I mean, like
but that's what makes Lower Decks so great, though.
I mean, is it really that obscure? Because like, if I were running Lower Decks, I go, hey, like, let's just watch the only other Star Trek cartoon. There are 30 episodes. Let's just take a bunch of notes.
Fair, Paul. That's a day. Like that's like day one.
That's
like,
right,
hey guys, all right. As we start on this journey, the first thing we should do, let's just do some research. We're not the first animated like set, so let's see what they did. That's the bar that is set, and see, and they get halfway through and go,
man, that bar is low.
Yes, low
this bar is low. This is like Olympic level limbo low.
They got through and said, you know what we could do? Like, we're gonna keep doing this, but we could probably do our own kids show and probably do even better ones. So let's do 2 animated shows at the same time. Let's just do that.
Boom.
Here's Prodigy. Oh, it is apparently Jack Quaid's birthday today. Happy birthday to Boyms.
Happy birthday, Boyms.
What wasn't he? Novocaine?
Oh yeah, he's in that new Novocaine movie. I really want to watch The Companion. I think it just
it's on Max right now.
Yeah, it's on Max. One
B says really good.
Really?
Great. The soundtrack is done by Rishi Herway, who does the podcast Song Exploder.
Okay. Cool.
Anyway, that's a fun podcast fact for you.
There you go.
Yes.
So for those who haven't, we just jumped right in. For those who haven't watched the episodes, the Ambergris Element, essentially, Kirk and Spock are transformed into fish people after they go down to a planet to explore it. They realize there's a giant creature that gives like Moby Dick giant squid vibes, but they call it a sur snake. And then there's a series of very Swamp Thing underwater creature people, Aquaman. Yeah, Aquaman ripoffs.
Aqua people, that's right.
Yes.
Hanging out underwater, who became underwater inhabitants after a series of ecological disasters on their planet. And the crew is trying to prevent future ecological disasters from happening on a different planet that's been having similar things happening. So, and the moral of the story is that like young people and old people should communicate so that they can remember their history, but look towards the future.
Love it. I love it. You thank you.
That's the moral of the story. I do. Yeah. Chippy's like, they get caught by aqua nets. Har har. Like the hairspray.
Yeah, that's okay. It's funny that the guy wait, found that funny.
Oh, wait.
It's someone goes into the bathroom and they're washing their hands and they see like the hairspray on the counter and they're like,
yeah, no, love it.
I'm telling you, it is literally, they took what was already written and enhanced it just by stuff that was laying around the office.
Yeah. I did like the kind of Lost City of Atlantis vibes to the episode, and I feel like we've had quite a few episodes that feel like repeated animation frames. So to me, it was at least refreshing to watch.
I did do it. So yes.
An episode where everything felt like it was made for the episode, and that felt like exciting and fun. And then for the slaver weapon, if you haven't read the soft weapon, it's essentially
wait, who hasn't read that? I mean, like it's everyone's read it, right?
It's like canon.
That's right. It's like reading Dr. Seuss.
Exactly. So Spock, Uhura, and Sulu are taking a stasis box, which I also thought was kind of I hope we bring back stasis box, because to me that's a really interesting idea to play with, is that essentially this box time freezes within the box. So anything kept in there it is fine forever, supposedly. And so this is a rare artifact of the quote unquote slaver culture. When the Kzinti intervene, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. You all can tell me in the comments. It's fine. I'm sure I'm saying it incorrectly. And so
it's pronounced Jones.
So the Jones intervene. But they're like, essentially it's like they're it's like a culture they don't know anything about. They're like, oh, they were these like, long standing like the big baddies of the galaxy for a long time, right?
As I understand, as I remember, like they used to rule the galaxy. There was and they ruled it by slaving. And then basically there was revolt, and it killed all life, in the galaxy. So it had to all start.
So everyone listening, if we can pay attention to when places start to devolve into fascism, and perhaps we will learn the big lesson of this episode, that we will destroy ourselves.
Won't happen. People learn, not gonna happen. No chance.
That's like I always say, we have, I might have said before in this podcast, and I will say it again, like there are only 3 paths for the future. There is Star Trek, there is Dune, and there's Mad Max. Those are the only.
You're gonna go Hunger Games. Yeah.
No, those are the only 3 paths. There's no, like you're either gonna end up in some form of like socialist utopia because technology frees you, kind of thing in Star Trek. You're either going to have like super capitalism that becomes like, feudalism, that's Dune, or the two are going to fight and it all blows up and you're going to get Mad Max.
Hey, 1 man enter or 2 men enter, 1 man leave.
Yeah. So like, so take your pick. I used to go like, it doesn't matter. I was born at a time where I get to watch the fall of Rome, but I don't have to live in it too much. Because but then like my friend goes like, unless there's reincarnation, Paul, and then what are your odds? You better like odds are you're not going to be Immortal Joe. And that's a Mad Max reference. Yes. And so, and even then, would you want to be? So you better go and fix the world.
I mean,
make
Paul,
it a better place.
Paul, you're a healthy guy, and people are living a lot longer now. So you never know.
You don't know my health status. I could be falling apart here.
I've been out to dinner with you a couple times.
Join our Patreon and help Paul live longer, everyone.
For just $2 an episode, you can help Paul.
You too can help Paul.
Will he need a new spleen? Maybe. Have you seen the way he eats?
I mean,
Paul, hot dog, no ketchup.
I was gonna say, Paul, you know the secret to long life is
like being a stasis box.
Hot dogs with plain, just the hot dog
plane from Toronto Hot Dog Plane.
Yes, that is the secret.
But in the weapon, I felt like it was interesting that essentially the Kizane were just like, oh, we only are going to interact with Sulu because like Vulcans are a lower
Herbivores.
race because they are vegetarian, and then they're like, and the other one is a woman.
Like I get it. I get it.
And I just love Spock's advice to Sulu to being like, anytime you think they're reading your mind, think of a vegetable.
Think of carrots. Like,
once again,
so funny.
might I like
Yeah.
so high.
We should have. Oh man, we should go back and give each episode like a stone, like 3 out of 5 joints. Like, how many joints did it take?
How many jokes were smoked to
Yeah.
to write this episode?
Yeah.
No, that's it's like it's always one of those things where if you can just get into the absurdity, if you just get through the valley, right? Like, this is not going to be a good episode. Oh my God, please be worse. Please. Yes, it's worse. And if you can get through the valley, it's a good time.
I mean, it's so funny because we're talking what? We're at 50. Is this 50? Is it 50 years?
70.
Yeah.
No, it's 60s, right?
No,
73.
No, 73. Yeah, 73.
For this, right? For
This
the
particular
animated.
Yeah. So
50,
we're 50 years. Wow. Yeah. So it's interesting that 50 years later, Paul and I are in LA. So the idea of thinking that vegan women are the lowest point, it's like, we're in LA, man. Like they're vegans
they
everywhere.
would fly in and be like, man, we're gonna really take over this silly city.
Right?
There's so many vegans.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not okay, not to there's a lot of sometimes vegans don't have a lot of energy, and if Uhura was a vegan, you could see why she kept on getting shot. She's running and
she got tasered, and it was like always the same pose.
She got shot an abusive amount.
I'm like, Spock says zigzag, and I'm like, and here's the thing.
I was like, are they like alligators? You gotta
like I'm looking at this and I'm going, if you asked me who of the three are the most athletic, my money's on Uhura.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm like, in a foot race, she's gonna outrun Sulu. And I know he's got, swords and stuff, but I'm just saying, I think in a foot race, she'd take him. Definitely would take Spock.
I don't know. Like, Spock is like stronger, faster, smarter.
Smarter, yes, but
he's a Vulcan. Vulcans are really strong.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, do we not remember the opening scene to Strange New Worlds where we open with Spock shirtless? If that's the comp we're going with,
I mean,
but I guess like muscly people don't always run fast.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, she looks lean, and she used to run track. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
She's running in heels on ice. That's
also that.
So
she's definitely a badass.
She's at a disadvantage because of the climate and the footwear.
Yes.
I mean, it's cold. She has less contact to the glass water. It wasn't. She wasn't going to succeed. In some ways, I feel she was set up for failure. Uhura, go run.
No. I did think Spock's just like run and jump kick was a very funny moment.
Yeah,
it was
just like gonna punt. And then what was the other one? Oh, when one of the cats turns the weapon into like the rocket ship or the mini rocket ship, and he gets like blown around. I don't know if y'all are watching Righteous Gemstones this season, but there's a silly repeated joke where they have like rocket backpacks to use to float over the surface. And
love it.
They're not very good at it. So it reminded me of this scene.
No, it's interesting. Like, you're just watching like one of the things that I first noticed about this episode, the Slaver's Weapon, is like, this is a sans Captain Kirk thing. It's all minorities. You got Vulcan, an Asian, and a black woman, on a mission by themselves. I'm looking at it as like watching it on what you call it on TV.
Yeah.
As a kid, you go like,
Hmm.
where's the white dude, and not to be had.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's actually from a cultural standpoint. I go like, oh my god, this is really progressive. Except she just Ahura gets shot.
Every time. Unfortunately. Yeah, no, to it's also like it's interesting how like bubblegum pink Cheshire cat like they also animated like our villains.
Sure.
Which I thought was interesting. Oh, this is what I was gonna ask y'all. When they reveal the picture of what they think the slavers look like, that was like
Gorn.
it was very, but it was like a one-eyed Gorn.
It was like a one-eyed Gorn.
It looked like the purple people eater, but in green.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But it might not have been that. It might have just been like, this is the most wanted, for all I know.
I was like, because it's interesting, like the what's in the box. Sorry.
Yeah, love it.
Is a picture, which is like a funny thing to just have in this like a box of things you want to save seemingly forever. Is a singular picture, and then a piece of meat, and then this weapon.
That's poisonous.
The meat is poisonous.
Poisonous piece of meat.
Yeah, it's a very interesting combination of things. I'm trying to remember what was in the box in the original story.
What's interesting to me about this though is that the poisonous meat is you have a culture that prize meat eaters and the meat's poisonous. Like I was fascinated by that and I was thinking, good thing one of them just didn't go, oh, meat, her, like, and tear into it. It was poisonous meat.
Yeah, no.
Yet they hate vegetarians.
Oh, vegetables. They're poisonous vegetables.
Yeah, I am fascinated by this stasis box though. I think you could really play with that really well though.
Yeah, it feels like something that could be really like a fun thing to play with in Strange New Worlds. So in the original story, it's just the weapon. I was like, I didn't remember there being other things in it, but
sure.
Yeah, interesting.
Again, someone sitting around and going, all right, so we've got the weapon. Should we put anything else in this box? How about a picture of a monster?
Yeah, like a picture of a monster. Yeah, and then no one gets anything.
And then like a piece of raw steak. Okay. You got the munchies? Yeah.
Which I'm just like, what's the food and safety of being in a box where time doesn't exist? Like, has it stayed at the same temperature the whole time? Like,
well, it won't matter because time doesn't exist. You need time to cook.
It's true. So the molecule, but I'm like, would the molecules move around enough that it would become a cooked steak?
It would. There'd be no movement because there's no time. Like like one of my favorite
questions for Dr. Aaron.
One of my favorite like jokes that I came up with, anyway, that after hearing this thing, like when you move at the speed of light, time does not exist for you. And apparently, it takes 100,000 years for a photon to go from the center of the sun to exit the sun. Because like it's so tight and it gets
dense or whatever.
Yeah, so it takes 100,000 years according, and then it only takes 8 minutes to hit the Earth. So like 100,000 years plus 8 minutes to go from center of the sun where it's born to hit the Earth, and the experience of that photon is basically. That's it. It takes 100,000 years plus 8 minutes, and that's his life.
It's not wrong. You're not wrong.
Chupi brings up some interesting notes, and that is Uhura has some great lines in this episode. There's the thanks a lot. Like that was a perfect line.
Yeah.
But also my favorite one was this one is, they don't think much of you, and she says wrong. They don't think much of you. Like she had some great lines in this episode.
She's the only one who is giving varied vocal performance of most of the cast most of the time.
Exactly.
And so it stinks because most of the time she doesn't have a lot of lines in most episodes. So I think it was a bit refreshing to at least get some variation in this episode.
And that's what's really weird, because when I think about George Takei, Sulu in particular, he tends to have a lot of vocal, like dynamic vocal presence.
Oh my.
And then I was watching Larry Crown on the plane, and
As one
he's in
does.
it. As one does. He was in it, and in it, like his vocal range is just like, it's all over the place. You know, even his laugh is like, oh, like it's just he has all this vocal capability. It was weird. I caught myself in this episode almost questioning if that was actually George Takei or not. Like I was like, did they have to get somebody else to replay this, like to do this? Like that doesn't.
I also wonder if, like, for this, like, who knows if they're just like, hey, we need you to read these kind of like in a way that we can like use them in a bunch of different ways. I don't know. Like,
well, I mean, you make a point where imagine if they just record everyone different days, not in the same room. Like it'd be weird if Spock goes like, Captain, like, you know, the Zentari are attacking
the
us.
sensors are saying this is happening,
and the captain goes like, haha, yes, Spock, it is. You know, like you kind of like, if you match nothing with nothing, it at least it's consistent, right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I imagine,
because I don't,
maybe season 2 is better with that.
I hope so. Maybe they finally get like a vocal director,
or they're in the same room together.
Yeah,
like it could all just be improv, like, you know, in the same room. But like, anyway,
yeah, very interesting.
No need to criticize 50-year-old art.
What?
Do better.
The whole, the whole point of this show.
Take this note now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did of the many varieties of episodes we've had of this season, I'd say these two were at least they're definitely higher on the list. Like I think you know, once we finish up next week for this season, I'll kind of go back. But I feel like the season sort of started really boring and then had a couple of fun episodes, and then there was a lull, and then we've had another couple fun episodes and then a lull. It's like it's seemingly in like every other sort of time.
I like the first two episodes. First two episodes with, like, you know, the I'm so alone and the Spock time travel. I think that's great. But I could but like I look back and I go,
I mean, the pilot is really boring.
Isn't that the I'm so alone?
I don't think so.
The one in the room?
Yeah. I'm so alone.
I guess that's true. Yes, that's right.
But I look at these two episodes, I go like, oh, I bet as a kid, I would have really liked this. Oh my God, it's exciting in some ways. Oh, there's a new weapon.
Yeah, the Ambergris Element also felt like very almost like old Scooby-Doo in a weird way.
Yeah.
They also I don't know if they introduced it, but I noticed that the shuttle was different. Like it had this like convertible sleekness to it, and I was like, that is drawn for children. It basically turned a
looks
Corvette.
Like a toy.
Yeah, it's a Corvette that they turned into a shuttlecraft. I was like, okay, I see where they're going.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting, to wrap up the season. And then the second season is only 6 episodes.
Is it that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very short. So we have two more episodes of this season. Yeah.
So be it.
And we switch directors for next season. Bill Reed directs all of them next season.
Oh, okay. All 6 of them. Okay, go Bill.
So this is our last 2 with Hal taking us through to the end.
He's so alone.
Solo dolo. Anything else to add for this particular episode?
I do have a question. Like, Clyde, when you were in the future, what did you enjoy eating the most?
I was trying to figure out how we're going to loop this back to food.
And did you encounter peanut hamper in the future?
I did not encounter peanut hamper. I mean, there was peanuts and hampers, but no peanut hamper.
Disappointing.
To be honest with you, I had a lot of good things. I made sushi.
Mm.
Like I say, make sushi. I put it together. The sushi chef actually like brought in a fish and then like cut it and sliced it like right there. So it was like super fresh. That was great. But we stopped at this like rest area where they had all these restaurants. And our tour guide said, "Hey, there's a bunch of restaurants here, but if you want a tip, follow the bus driver and go where he eats." And I'm like, she's got a good point. Like, this is a guy who does this trip like every week, wherever he knows the spot. And so we went to this little like diner thing, and I got like ramen and some fried rice and dumplings. But the thing on the plate that surprised me the most was tempura fried chicken. It was amazing. So that's what it was. I was not expecting that.
So you like the Japanese fried chicken?
I did actually, yes.
They
They have
come with-
KFCs everywhere, but I didn't eat that.
Oh, okay, no, I'm a big fan of fried chicken. I'm a big fan of Japanese fried chicken. Was it karage or was it something different?
Something different. It was something different.
Okay.
But yeah, it was I enjoyed it.
When I was in Japan, not to make it about me, I think I had many memorable dishes. I went to like Jiro Sushi and like a bunch of fancy places. Nice. But the place that I remember, like I go like, oh, this is something that I would not get in LA to any kind of level, was a cutlet place, but the cutlet was foie gras.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't eat like that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and so like I don't even remember it being. I remember it being very interesting and good, but I don't remember it being like transcended. But I was like going, like, why isn't there a foie gras like a cutlet place in LA? And probably the answer is because that's a lot of abused geese.
Yeah, and also if it's a cutlet place, so they're like, is it like a thin layer of the liver with
it was a thick,
breaded and fried? Oh,
it was thick bread and fried in a bowl with rice, and tonkatsu sauce or whatever, not tonkatsu, but like anyway, like it was very good. It was very rich.
Yeah, it's fried foie gras.
Fried foie gras, yeah. I'll tell you what. Apparently, I'm not a fan of, which is really, really popular, is meat on a stick.
You don't like skewers? Like kebab?
I had a whole bunch of them, and I was just like, there's nothing particularly special. My favorite was the crab meat on a stick, but even that was like, they were like, how was it? I was like, it's just okay. Like it was better than some of the others, but I liked everything else. And the ice cream was amazing. Believe it or not.
Did you get any Hokkaido ice cream?
I did not, but I got like a ton of soft serve. Everybody was eating soft serve. Sure. It was great. Cool. And these like candied strawberries were a huge hit. Yeah, the food, like the thing about it is food is everywhere. Like Japanese, there definitely feels like Japanese are like, look, life is too short to eat bad food, and I'm with them.
Yeah, I do that all the time, and people accuse me of eating too much. and they're right. They're right. There's a balance too. Like
The other thing that I was surprised of that's really popular in Japan is Makuda noodle with McDonald's.
Cool.
I feel like it always has like a weird hold on so many places.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was in college, we were in Estonia, and our hotel was across from a McDonald's, and we had been traveling through Eastern Europe for like maybe 8 or 9 days at this point. Like it was towards the back half of this like 2-week long trip. And so everyone was like, we're all like 18, 19 years old. And so we were all really stoked to go get McDonald's because we had been eating. I mean, it was good, but it was like stuff, at like 18, you're not quite culturally appreciating at the time quite yet, so you're not like, oh, I'm so excited about this potatoes and meat and borscht and like all of this other stuff. But yeah.
Well, So this was like a segment of hot dog talk.
Yep.
Hot dog talk Japan.
Yes.
Stay tuned for even more, I'm sure, next episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time. We will be talking about the last 2 episodes of season 1. We have the Eye of the Beholder and the Jihad coming up. Until next time, y'all. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Matashita.